Here is an angle most people have not seen. Look at Jada's reaction.
Back with another video. I hate to beat a dead horse, but this horse needs to be beat. So first things first, I want you to focus on how Jada was laughing, actually laughing at what Chris Rock said. Now, it's just crazy to me how she's up there watching her husband's demise, when you could easily notice she never stepped in and said, hey, stop, slow down, let's just talk about this backstage. Nothing. All she did was laugh. Keep in mind that 2 days prior to this, as far as the whole alopecia thing, there was an article where she said, I love it, I love my hair, I love my new look. It exists, it's there. So all of this, the narrative that other women, specifically black women, have about, oh, he shouldn't have said something about black women's hair, that argument is dead. It's done. But I want to talk about the image of black men. Keep in mind, Will is a part of a handful of black men that have received an Oscar. This is your first Oscar. Then Tiffany Haddish chimes in with her interview and says, oh, I was kind of turned on, and I guess she insinuated that Will Smith's going to be getting some tonight. This is crazy. Okay, so here's my issue. You call masculinity toxic, but then turn around and see masculinity in its toxic form and say, this is manhood. He stood up for his woman. He did the right thing. No, that is not protection. That is not what it looks like. Protection is, okay, you threatened my wife, I have to get physical. You jumped up there and physically assaulted someone, and even she leaned back and laughed at what Chris Rock was saying. But when it comes to alopecia, I want you to take a close look. Take a close look at her head, how it's even all over. But just, look up different pictures and take a good look at Jada's hair. And I don't want to insinuate anything. There's levels to this, but I just want to show you what alopecia looks like. This is alopecia in men. Notice if this guy shaves his head as low as Jada's, you still see these big spots. That's even worse. So just food for thought. But there are real life consequences to this, and I guess this guy was team Will Smith. He went to Chris Rock's comedy show. Maybe he got a little too close. He heckled Chris Rock and got maced, and he's now in jail. You gotta be kidding me. To sit in jail and people ask you, hey, what are you in for? I can't even imagine. But I want to talk about the fact that he's one of 5, I believe, black men who have got an Oscar. And on this night, this is your first Oscar, and it's ruined in this way. So think about the image of black men, and this is not how we should have been represented. Unfortunately, we're represented by the worst of us, not the best of us. And if Chris Rock had been gay, trans, or a white man, this would have gone completely different. But because it's a black man, hey, who cares about Chris Rock? Nobody check up on him. Who cares? But I want to talk about something called proxy violence, and an example that came to mind. I want to share a video.
Breaking news, a confrontation at a donut shop ends in a deadly shooting. And police sources say the man they're looking for may have pulled the trigger because of where the victim was standing. Good evening, I'm Christine Johnson. Maurice is off tonight. The NYPD says the argument inside a Bronx Dunkin' Donuts spilled out into the street. And sources tell us a female customer accused the 26-year-old victim of getting too close, and that is when she called her boyfriend for help. CBS 2's Corey James tells us what police say happened next.
Balloons and candles were placed in front of 26-year-old Stephen Stewart's home. His family and friends who did not want their faces shown stood on the stoop and sidewalk mourning the loss, trying to understand why anyone would shoot their loved one, originally from Jamaica, who moved to the Bronx just 3 months ago.
I'm surprised somebody would just hurt him like that over nothing.
Stewart's aunt says her nephew was at this Dunkin' Donuts near Gun Hill Road and Holland Avenue in the Bronx. She says a witness told the family that a woman standing in line accused Stewart of being too close to her. Police say that woman then called her boyfriend, who then followed Stewart. Officers say they exchanged words before the suspect shot him about 2 blocks away.
It's just sad. It's just sad.
Not having self-control is dangerous. And keep in mind, after this happened, he was asked to leave but chose not to, or told them he wasn't going to leave. But you, black man, are not an attack dog to be used at the whim of just any woman, even if it's your wife. He should have been able to think for himself. But it comes down to being your own person, and all this narrative about the alopecia, and that's victimhood mentality stuff. Because notice how out of nowhere, black women treated alopecia like it was stage 4 cancer. It's ridiculous. Will Smith is a millionaire, but the average guy, this whole narrative about protection, that protection stops when you're either dead or in jail. He could have been arrested and immediately made bail. But the average guy, there's more situations like the video that I just played that play out in real life. Men understand that because we have to face physical threats all the time. If I'm an MMA fighter and I'm 6'1", 230, I have to have self-control all the time because I could kill someone with my bare hands. It's facts. There was a narrative about protection, but she didn't protect her husband and his image and his masculinity when she was with August Alsina, and then made him relive it on the Red Table Talk. That's how you protect your husband, because she couldn't do it physically. You do it by not sleeping with your son's friend. Everybody forgets that, I guess. I don't know. We dance around it. It's wrong. I don't want to hear, oh, they were on a break, maybe. Yeah, right. You don't, out of all the people in the world, no. But please like, follow, and subscribe for more.